Wow.
Yeah,
So that is after how many scholarships that you've applied for
more
at this
than
point?
20, more
More
than
than 20.
22.
So for you all that are watching, I want you all to meet Tracy Atobatele, and she's from Nigeria. She's a pilot currently, and she's currently working on her CFIs and double I, if I remember correctly.
Yes, yes.
We've known each other for over 10 years now. I wanted her to share some tips with you all on how to, get to where she is, especially when it comes to the area of applying for scholarships and just securing those scholarships in order to achieve your own goals as well.
When I was like little,
Hmm.
I had watched a video, and I watched that video with my dad. It was about a lady, like she's a Nigerian pilot. She was the captain on one of the Nigerian airlines, and they were reporting the news about something that had happened to her. Like that was my first like introduction to like seeing a female pilot, seeing that this can actually be done, and seeing that it can be done in my home country, that's Nigeria.
Yep.
So getting into aviation, I would say like more was like in university. I have a friend that he also went to the same university as I did, and we would talk about flying and plans, but nothing concrete because we're both broke, to be honest, and we both knew that we didn't have the money, so there was no point. So it was just wishful thinking, like
Yeah.
okay, maybe, maybe not, and that was kind of like pretty much the beginning of
Yeah.
like wanting to do it.
I remember you were working as a cabin crew at some
Yeah,
point, and
yeah.
then you eventually transitioned to become a pilot. So let's start with how did you raise the funds to start? Because the reason I'm asking about this question is this is one of the biggest.
Questions you get a lot.
Yeah, like exactly. A lot of people ask like, how can they raise funds for training? It's expensive. They don't have the funds to do it. How did you go about doing that?
Okay, I'll say I started saving the minute I started working as a flight attendant.
Okay.
I started saving, and I saved a lot of money, and I ended up pretty much not losing, but all that money went away because I was okay. I had saved to a point, and then I had to get a house. I had to furnish the house. I had things that were going on in my family that I needed to like do stuff. Like I had to give away some of the money as well. Not give away, but help do stuff.
Support that too.
Yes. And I wiped out that money, and then I had to start all over again to get like the funds again.
Okay.
So I sat down and I wrote out everything that I could possibly do. I was talking as in, or I was reflecting on my own strengths, and I was like, okay, what is something that you like to do? What is something that aside from flying, aside from all of that, what is stuff that you like to do that you can use to raise funds? And one of the things I like to do is sell.
Okay.
So I said, okay, what are you going to be selling? And I couldn't really think about one particular thing. So I was doing multiple things at the same time. So I said, okay, I want to still be in aviation. I want to still be around that like system where I don't want to have to forget about my goals or my dreams. So what I ended up doing was I ended up saving money, and I was able to pay for my cabin crew training. I got my cabin crew license, and I started working as a flight attendant. It was my first private jet charter job with a company that had three planes. They were a very good company, stable company. They were a very fast growing company. They are so good that they're still like I flew with them like 2013. They're
Oh,
about
wow.
they are still going on strong. The owner of that aircraft that I said thank you to is
Mm-hmm.
one of my mentors now. We
Okay.
Everything I go through, like if I have anything I send to him, I say this is what is happening. He encourages me. So I say this to say like that company was a very solid company at the time, and it
Mm-hmm.
was a blessing that I even got in there because when I got in, they kept asking me, "Who do you know? How did you get here? Who brought you?" For that being said, worked there, saved, kept saving, but I didn't only limit it to that.
Right.
So every place we traveled to, like maybe Senegal or any place that we went to, I would buy things from there, come back to
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria and sell them.
And sell them. Okay.
I was getting funds from that. I'll buy things in Nigeria, resell, buy things anywhere, resell. I was constantly buying and selling. I also learned to sew.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a fashion brand where I would make bridal train dresses. I would sew ready to wear clothes for people. So I was running all of that and I was still a flight attendant and I was getting money from that as well. Saving up all my money. And everybody around me that cared to know and cared to listen, I always told I want to fly. I want to fly. So everybody knew. I would share like my progress with you. Like, this is how much I've saved now. This is
Right.
where I'm going to. I was just always saving continuously looking for scholarships, looking for everything. But while I was in Nigeria, nothing scholarship wise was working.
Mm.
But the things I feel helped was I saved that money to a particular point that when it was time for me to go,
Mm-hmm.
I had people like the general overseer of my church, because my daddy was a pastor at that church for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I had gone to him. He was the one that paid my ticket money to go from
Wow.
Nigeria to the US. He
Mm-hmm.
gave me $1,000 stipend to buy like stuff
Things. Yep.
if I got there. I had people like say, you know what, I see that you've done and you've gotten this far, like you've been able to save your whole money. This is something to support so that you're not just going there.
Yep.
They like about two of them
Mm-hmm.
came and said, this is like, take this money, use it towards your like
Education,
study.
training, and all that.
But they were able to do that because they saw that I had done my part.
Right. Right. Right.
So, and that was pretty much how
You got here.
I got here.
As you all know that one of the things that I preach on my channel is the importance of applying for scholarships, especially if you are looking for funds for training. Well, Tracy is one person that I know that has achieved so much in that area. She's applied to so many scholarships and she's gotten some results. Let's hear what she says.
How did you go about that first scholarship?
Okay, I had been reading online about like, I'd done my research. I'd
Mm-hmm.
seen girls like male, female, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
win multiple scholarships. I have these two people in my head that
Mm-hmm.
when I think about scholarships, I see their faces
All
because
right.
they have won so many scholarships. And
Okay.
I tried to talk to one of them. I wasn't able to talk to her directly,
All right.
but I was able to talk to somebody that had reviewed her scholarship essay,
Mm-hmm.
and the person had given me feedback as to like how captivating like her scholarship essays were.
All right.
The second girl, I had spoken to her directly, and she had told me, she said, Tracy, how many scholarships do you think I've won so far? I was like, I don't know. She's like, okay, maybe she had won about 10.
Wow.
And she's like, do you know how many I've applied for? I was like, no. She said, I've applied for over 120 to 200 scholarships. I've
Oh
even lost.
my God.
Yeah. So she's like, I need you to understand that it's not for the faint-hearted. So if you're getting rejected, cry for 5 minutes, call me, we talk, and start again. That's it. Like, there's no opportunity to break down. You have to get back and start again,
Again.
applying. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So I had exhausted all my money. I was like over 100 grand because I'd been to 3 different flight schools. I was
Yep.
like over 100 grand in flight training. I was
Yep.
done,
Yep.
absolutely done. There was no way I could pay out of pocket again, like solely pay out of pocket. So I started researching scholarships. I would check for scholarships online, research, wrote all of them down, and I started my application. I had applied to about 20 of them. Oh, I'm sorry, we cannot give it to you at the time. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I just kept getting I'm sorries all the time. And then I'm like, okay. I started reading, like going online to read people's essays and how they told their story.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wrote a draft of mine and sent it to two people that I felt like were like I was really close to, and I wanted to hear what they felt.
Yep.
And both of them knew my story and they knew about my journey, and they were like, I don't think you are saying everything about your journey enough. I feel like you're hiding because you don't want to sound like as if you're scared to ask for the money and you need the money. So why are you scared to tell your story? And I'm like, what do you mean? And like, go back home and go back and think about it and reflect, and then come back when you're ready to tell your
Ready.
story. So I go back and I'm like quick about it. I'm reading and I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. I'm still gonna go all out and tell my story. I'm not gonna be apologetic about it because it's my story. It happened.
Right. Right.
So why do I have to hide it? Like, and I know people think, oh, Tracy is really crazy because Tracy has done so many things. Like, I was a jet charter broker at some point. I still am a jet charter broker because I still use some of that fund
Yeah.
towards
Training.
training. Or, I just like, I'm going to tell this story. And I told my story and I sent it to them and I told it so well. They corrected a couple of things
Yep.
and sent it back to me. And I think a month later, I got my first
Scholarship.
ever scholarship.
You can see that one of the key things is to have somebody that is trusted that can give you good feedback about your essay or that knows enough about you and your story. And that's why when you're seeking, say, letters of recommendation or say maybe support letters from someone, let that person be someone that truly knows you and that can share a lot of good things that you possess or your qualities that you possess. I'm sorry about my voice, but I hope you guys get this idea. Let's continue.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that is after how many scholarships that you've applied for at this point?
20. More than
More than
20.
20.
Yeah.
Wow. So one thing I think I've learned from that short, narration of what you've experienced is you need, or at least you had some mentors, right?
Yes.
Somebody to kind of guide you on what to do, and hopefully they encouraged you to also open up in your essay.
Yes.
That probably changed the,
Dynamics.
dynamics of things, and you're able to get the result you wanted. The next question to that is, how do you then go about looking for that next scholarship, or how do you go about looking for scholarship in general? Because you mentioned something in the past, and you said Taco Bell scholarship. I'm like, what? I've never even heard about that. So the question is, how do you go about looking for these scholarships? And any resource? Do you have any resource out there that you use?
Okay, so what I usually send to people is, I think I must have found that on an Embarido site.
Okay.
But yeah, and they have like a list of scholarships that come out every month. So I haven't sent that before. I think I stumbled on it or something, but I've sent that thing to more than 50 people. Like, I always send it. That's the first thing I would send. Like, go to this link. This link has like all the aviation scholarships per month. And I've learned something that if you give, you will surely receive. And
100%.
because I like to volunteer, period. Like, if you are giving me a scholarship, if you're not giving me a scholarship, if you call me and I have the time, I would go. Even if I'm not going by myself, I'll go with my son. I'll pull up. If it has to do with making sure that young people hear about aviation, get involved in aviation, I will be there, like front and center.
Okay.
So I was doing all those things for a while, not knowing that those things would help. Like, when I'm about to write my essay and they ask, how have you given back
to the aviation community?
Yes, I was going to be able to pick those things that I have done because I'm a member of multiple organizations. I'm first and foremost,
right.
my loves. I'm a member of Sisters of the Skies organization. I'm a member of OBAP, Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals. I'm a member of Women in Aviation. I'm a member of 99s. I'm a member of AOPA. I'm a member of EAA. I'm a member of Seaplanes Association. I'm a member of, I'm part of Forever on the Fly. They are an organization that also give flights to like 500 students, 600 students at a time.
Scholarships, right?
Every flight, and I think they have their scholarships as well. I am also a member of LIFT, Ladies in Flight Training. I'm a member of, I'm trying to see which other one. There are more than I'm a member of, to be honest. I'm a member of
a lot of them. But I think this is an important area because a lot of people think you just apply to scholarships and you expect to get awarded that scholarship when you are not either volunteering, you're not a member. I don't think it works that way from what you're saying.
Okay, I'll just say something very basic.
Yeah.
Let's say me and you have known each other for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and you say, "Oh, Tracy, can you hop on my podcast?" And I'm like, Steven, I don't think I can. And then you ask me again, Tracy, can you hop on my podcast? And I'm like, Steven, I don't think I can. Then I come to you
To apply for a scholarship program.
I'm like, Steven, please, um, I just want to interview. They said I should interview somebody that works in this company. Is there a way that I can interview you? Like, what's the first thing that's going to go through your mind? I know that you're nice, you're super nice, you're everything, but would you come on my own podcast?
Most likely, no.
Yes. So put yourself in this organization's shoes. There are times they organize these things where they badly want to promote aviation, and they put it out there that, please, can you just come and just volunteer your time? These kids would love to see you. They would love to learn from you. They would love to,
Yeah.
and you just tell them, oh, okay, I'll be there. But 50 people sign up, and then at the end of the day, only 3 people show up.
Right.
And they've told 500 kids. So imagine how devastating that will be for them. And then you come maybe a few months after and you want to apply to the scholarship, and you are competing against the 3 people that were there.
Of course, they'll prioritize those ones.
Then straight up.
Yeah.
So, even aside, let's even talk like aside even the scholarships, even
Right.
like I'd gone to a middle school last year. I
Mhm.
went to that same middle school today. I volunteer yearly. They send me emails every year. Please, can you come? Please, can you come? I went this morning, and I have seen this guy that I have seen, I see this guy year in, year out. He tells me the same thing every time. Hi, I know you were here last year. Can you remember me? And I always remember him because he's this really cute white boy.
Right.
You're very warm, very nice. Like, I'm going to be a pilot, Miss Tracy. I'm, working towards that. And
Right.
that melts my heart. If that's the only person from that middle school that me going there has changed his vision, and he knows that this is a possibility, then I'm good. That's rewarding enough.
It's kind of similar to the previous one. Now, how have you improved your search process, and the application process over time? Is there something, do you have like a routine? Exactly. That's what, because, I believe in following like a pattern or a routine so that you can repeat the process. You're much faster applying. You're much faster going through the routine of just applying, writing your essays and all that stuff. Like, do you have like a routine that you follow?
I think now everything is always updated and on standby.
Wow.
Like my hours are always updated. My CV is always updated. My logbook is always totaled and signed. I'm always having those things like ready. I have my golden reference letters that are from I always shout them out every time. Three of them, like, they know me.
Right.
They know how to properly say, this is who Tracy is. And this is why we feel she deserves the scholarship. They are able to tell my story sometimes even better than me.
Now, the last question I have here, unless you have something else you want to add, is what will be your recommendations for others looking for scholarships? Because that's something that I get a lot from people, and I wanted to just share from your own, from your experience, from what you have done and what you've been able to achieve. What will be your recommendation to others that are looking for scholarship programs to apply to, and just going through that process as well?
Okay, I'll say search for scholarships that if you're aviation, because this is an aviation pretty much podcast. Search your aviation part, right? Search for everything under the sun. Give of yourself when it comes to aviation and promoting aviation, and not only promoting aviation. Give of yourself to other people. Just generally, just give of yourself. Give of your time. If you have that time, because it is, of course, it would help you towards the scholarship, but then it just rewards your soul.
Right.
Because I had one scholarship where there were 4 criteria, and one of the criteria was, how does she promote aviation? And the second one was, how does she help those around her reach their goals? Right. So this wasn't even only about aviation. They wanted to know what kind of person you are outside of aviation. Are you also giving back of your time? Because these people have been giving back of their time for 50 years. So we needed to be sure who they were dealing with. So for those kind of situations now, you know that it cannot only just be aviation. So
Aviation.
search aviation, search for scholarships that are not even aviation related, but something that you fit in.
Right.
Research about your scholarships. You know, what do you think they want to hear? Read through thoroughly. Answer the questions. If they say 500, do 500. If they say
Right.
500 or more, do 500 or more.
Right.
Be engaging. Let your story flow. Don't just start like, oh, and I was here, and then boom, and was there. Like, don't let it be scattered and disjointed. Give it to as many people that you know. And
To
I'm saying
review.
review. And those people you give it to, let them be people that are brutally honest, people that can tell you your letter is
Your
your
essay.
is rubbish. It's like they can tell you, and even though you will cry, you will know that they are helping
In
you.
you,
So
and they're being honest about it.
honest. So like no, my family friend that I said, she's like my family friend and cousin that I said works with the police.
Right.
She would say, please, this is trash. Like she doesn't even mind what. So when I go to her, I just put on my bulletproof vest.
Because you'll be ready for it.
But she's made me so much of a stronger, better person when it comes to expressing myself. So you need people like that in your corner. So
If you have found value and you've stayed up onto this point in this video, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, share this with somebody that will benefit from it. Like I said, this type of information doesn't come easy, and being able to get her to come on the channel and also share knowledge and information that she has is something that I'm grateful for, and I hope that you guys are grateful for that. So please let her know by following our channel as well. I will leave our Instagram and all our social media links as well on this video in the description box below. So please check her out, ask her questions, feel free to reach out to her. She will definitely help out. I hope to see you in my next video, and best of luck to you all.